If your name's not Dan, you're not coming in.
I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games.
Yes, hello, it is me, it is Jace at Retrogames. Yes, you know who I am by now, and it's a special episode. It is our anniversary episode. Yeah! Special. It is 1 year since the birth of the Retrogames YouTube channel. 56, 57, 58 videos later, here we are. It's still going, still churning them out. Amazing. I can't believe we managed to keep going for so long, and the cameras are still rolling. That's a good sign. How are you? How are you? Excited? 1 year of Retrogames. Yeah! And thanks to everyone who joined in with us over the last few episodes and has been commenting and joining the gang. Now, I've been thinking about this. I think it's not just a show, is it? I talk to you all every week now. That's my best bit of the show. And you have been leaving me lovely comments and things to talk about, which is really good. It's a bit of a conversation. We are retro gamers and we like conversation about retro games, and that's what we're here for, isn't it? So I think this is a club, isn't it? This is like a club, which kind of makes it okay that last week's episode did a third less views. I don't know. This morning it was 210 views. That's about 100 less than the week before. A third of our audience has gone. I'm not doing something good, am I? You might like me. You might like me, but there's a heck of a lot of people who don't. I maybe just seen once, avoided for eternity. Maybe that's the key. That's the key. You know, you guys, you're gluttons. You're gluttons for punishment. What can I say? Now, okay, it's been a year, and you might have noticed we're back to the old theme, because it was a special. I thought we'd go back to the first intro, just as an anniversary special. That was the first intro for the first videos that we put out, or I put out. And it was good, wasn't it? And I thought maybe retire the What's New at Retro Games, or maybe do that as a little segment intro to that part of the show later on. And maybe stop calling this What's New at Retro Games, because that's not what it is anymore. It's like the club show, isn't it? I'm the head of the club. I'm like Jax Teller in Sons of Anarchy, or who else could I be? I could be Vic Mackey in The Shield. I'm like Vic Mackey, the boss, and you guys are all the... I'm like Jeffrey in Rainbow. That's probably more like it. Probably more like it, isn't it? I'm the Jeffrey. You're the Bungles! or the George! I haven't done that impression for a long time, and I enjoyed it. So anyway, welcome to the show. Another week of some nutter who is really, really into old games, talking to his friends. Welcome on board. Happy weekend. I keep telling you to do something more interesting, but you're gluttons. You're gluttons. Got my sheet. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I have a sheet. And this is all the people who comment. If you're new to the show, let's be honest, not many of you. If you're new to this, people comment on the show during the week, and then on the Friday, I talk about the comments before we start looking at some other retro stuff, all the new stuff that's coming to the retrogames.co.uk website this week. And that's how we work. And let's start calling this a show again, because it might not have a feature every week, but it's a show, isn't it? It's a show. It's the big retro gaming show. Okay, so this week, let's put the runners and riders on the screen. I always point the wrong side because it's the opposite of what I'm looking at on the camera. So I'll point this side. Here's the runners and riders. Ting! That was the right side? Right side. Okay, 21! That's better. That's what I asked for last week, and I only got about 14, didn't we? 14, 15. But we got 21 this week, so 21 comments, and lots of you had tons to say. You're properly getting involved now. This is the hardcore 20 top members of the club. I'm going to have to make some club merchandise and send it all out to you, and you can all be proper members of the Retro Games Club. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a club with a lucrative mail order company on the side. Sure, but it's a club. It's a club. We are all good friends, and well, I think you're my friends. Maybe not. Let's start with the comments. Are you ready? Number one, Jabobbly Rob, yeah, he's a regular. He's recently finished the game Action Biker. That's Clumsy Colin. It's a KP Skips game. It was released on Mastertronics, $1.99. He's recently finished it with his 10-year-old son. Isn't that lovely? They played that game together and they actually finished Action Biker. I didn't know it ever ended. It's taken him 36 years since the purchase of that game to finish it. And at $1.99, he says that represents great value for money. And I have to agree with him. But he did get us thinking, what's the other gaps? How long have you had a game? And then how long did it take to actually finish it? I mean, have you bought, like, I don't know, The Hobbit, like in 1983, 4? And, you know, I guess it's all similar age, actually. 36 years is probably about the gap. As if 36 to 40, you're going to find it hard to top that unless you're finishing a VCS game. But not many VCS games had endings, did they? So you're really talking about adventure games. Maybe the early adventure games like Commodore PET, maybe 1970s. Maybe you can push it up to maybe 41, 40s. But I think pretty much, Jabobbly Rob, 36 is about as far as we can get with that. on hindsight, you might need a bit of rework. I don't think you're going to have people who've gone for a lot longer. You're probably the world record holder. Call Norris McWhirter! Yeah, well done to you and your son. And thank you for watching. And always commenting, thank you. Now, Lou commented, because last week I talked about gender of you followers, of you commenters, because I can't tell. And I've been caught out a few times. Wondrous Jaguar. People, I suddenly find out, oh, you're a girl, I'm sorry, I've been calling you he all the way. So, you know, well, very kindly, Lou told me their gender, but they didn't say, don't worry, I'm a, and then used an emoji to define their gender. And I'll be honest, this emoji is hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Let me see if I can find a picture of this emoji. And this is Lou's gender. This is how he, she, they describe themselves as this. I'm guessing a boy. A boy? I think so. I think Lou is a boy. It must be Louis, Lewis. I don't know. But we're going to just call him Lou and him. And if I've got it wrong, if my judgment's really skewed, apologies to you. Let's move on. Number 3. Yeah, hurry up, move on. We've got 21 today. Okay. Number 3 is Beesball, our good old mate Beesball. And he's worried. She worried about old consoles living long, and this is something I remember back from when I first started retro games, like late 90s. People said, well, all this old hardware, it's not going to power up in 10 years time. You're not going to get to be able to play an old machine from 20 years ago in 20 years in the future, because all the parts will have corroded and all the circuitry will have disintegrated and you won't be able to play them. They said the same about audio cassettes, but you can still find 1960s audio cassettes that play fine. But they always said, oh no, well, you're collecting tapes, mate, discs, mate, magnetic media, that's just going to disintegrate over time. But it hasn't yet, and here we are, what, we're 30, 40 years after, and we've still got it. And I think this comes down to the quality of the consoles, because some consoles are far less reliable than others. Sega Game Gear, straight at the top of the charts. Absolutely useless. What else is unreliable? Other unreliable. Spectrums are getting a lot less reliable. I'll be honest. We are testing a lot of Spectrums. I would say 60% now have issues. And that's just hearsay from us testing a lot of computers. Commodore 64 slightly better. I would say 60-70%. Commodore 64 are generally okay. Another computer that often we would find broken was the black screen of doom. Was the MSX, the Toshiba one particularly. Toshiba MSX, so many faulty ones. But Atari stuff seems a lot more robust. I mean, we power up Atari VCSs quite often, and I would say maybe only 30% black screen of doom on an Atari VCS. I mean, the 2600, the small black silver stripe one, a lot more reliable. They are pretty good. 95% of the time they'll work. Now let's move on to more modern. I mean, Mega Drives. Yes, Mega Drives are great. They do seem to last because they are very few faulty. But I mean, I wonder if these stats, what we find faulty on old consoles now, if you extrapolate that into the future, if that means that okay, the Spectrum is going to get worse and worse and worse, and maybe in 20 years' time, only 10% of your ZX Spectrums are going to work. That's quite frightening, isn't it? It's quite frightening, unless, of course, people fix them. You remember last week, you know, the PC Engine stuff, PC Engine LT that we had on, burst capacitors. Capacitors seem to be the culprit because they burst over the circuit board and melt loads of, well, they just cause loads of disruption across circuits, and they have to be cleaned up and changed. It's a valid point, but I do believe that nice, cared for hardware that has been used regularly, and I do think this, it's a bit like a car. Oh, you need to take her out for a good run, mate. I feel, this is again me making it up, I'm making it up a bit, but I do feel if you use a console semi-regularly, or a computer, if you maybe power it up once a year, it's more likely to be happy and to continue working. A lot of the computers and consoles we get have been just stuck in a shed or a garage for like 30 years. They're the ones that are probably pretty iffy, and it doesn't matter. They can say, it worked last time, it worked when I put it in the box. Yes, it's had a lot of time festering in that box, and it's died. It is a really interesting subject, and there should be some proper research on the disintegration of old consoles. But thanks for bringing that to our attention. Yeah, good. Baseball. Yeah, baseball. Okay, so at number 4, we have got Just Dave at Retrogames. He's new! He's new! Welcome on board. Welcome to the club. Come on, everyone be nice to him. All be nice to Dave. Come on. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for your support. Welcome on board. Hope you win. I hope you all win. You know, but I don't decide the rules. You know who does, and he's not bribable. Okay, number 5, Scary Bailey is back. Now, Scary Bailey makes me laugh. He watches the show, usually on a Saturday. Best day of the week, Saturday. And his other half, she gets really fed up listening to me droning on. And I can't blame her. Can you imagine if you're not into this stuff at all? Listening to this, this old fat bloke just rambling on about old games and getting overexcited with himself. Oh God, it must be annoying. But it's only an hour a week. Anyway, she done it to herself. She said she works at a warehouse, and she revealed that while she was working, she had a. I've really blown this story. I've not a great delivery here. I should have written it down properly. Look, get used to it. Get used to it. I'm not a professional. I'm not getting paid for this, as you know. Anyway, yeah. So Scary Bailey's partner, Asher, she complains about him watching it every week. She works in a warehouse, and this week she was sorting out a big box of returns that came in, and she couldn't help herself from saying, "What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?" Yes, the catchphrase. It might be a small audience, but it's infectious. And as it's the anniversary issue, we need to try and get more of the catchphrases in. I'll try and get all the catchphrases in today. We'll try, shall we? There's some that we haven't seen for a while, and I've got no dragon stuff, so we can't do the dragon one. We can't do it.
Now then, that's what I'm talking about.
No, we can't. Carry on. Thanks for that, Scary Bailey. 6, Brian. Brian was there, and he agrees with me about stickers on games. I had a little bit of a rant about cash converter stickers last week. I pushed the boundaries a little bit. I did say they should maybe decide to end their lives, which is pushing it a bit. I censored that out. I censored it out because you should not be encouraging that in a video. But I just get so angry about defacing and spoiling games for no reason. Why are you doing that? It's like, oh, I don't care. I don't care about this stuff. It's just a job, innit? Yeah, it's a job that's going to affect that item for the entirety of the future. I mean, some of those games that you're handling might be the last relics of human achievement. You know, they might be to live 2,000 years. So imagine that. They find, oh my God, look at this house we've dug up. You know, we've excavated this house under, and we found a games room. And look, in the games room, oh my God, look, there's some box Super Nintendo games. Oh my God, these were massive, like 1,000 years ago. Oh no, look, someone stuck a massive sticker on it and barcoded the marker pen on the barcode. You knew what I meant. My Steam, I've run it. I don't know. I can't keep myself centered. I lose control a bit. Sorry about that. Anyway, I agree. Andy, I think, is Andy new? Andy 282011, he's put his phone number there, let's all ring him. He says he remembers playing Burning Rubber on the Amstrad 464 Plus. Now that is a lovely looking computer, very rare. We have had it here before, but never one working, and I don't think we've ever listed one. It's like a smoothed down spaceship version of the Amstrad 464, sold in tiny numbers, built-in cassette player, but groovy looking thing. What do you think? Pretty lush. We all want one. We all want one. Burning Rubber, not a great game. We'll come back to that. Number 8. Now this guy is called, I don't know if it's a guy or gal, is Canal Companhia Jogos 9742. And he gave us a lovely comment. Let me read it to you. Canal top, nostalgia pura, parabén, parabén. And I had to get this translated because that didn't sound normal to me. This is top channel, pure nostalgia, congratulations, which is lovely. Lovely comment, thank you very much. But that was in Portuguese. And I'm thinking, oh, a new follower from Portugal, amazing, but where else do they speak Portuguese? Maybe they're in Brazil. Maybe we've got a Brazilian joining the show. Isn't that amazing? Because I think our American guys stopped watching. So we need some new overseas guys to join the gang, join the club. Merch on its way. Anyway, it got me thinking. You're Portuguese. You've sent a message in Portuguese. You probably didn't understand a word of the show. That's amazing, really. There's no subtitles. I can't be bothered. So yeah. Number 9, Gareth Williams. He wants a Jag. He wanted that Jaguar. It's still for sale. Nobody bought it. Wants the Jag. And he remembers watching Cybermorph in the window of the game shop when he was a kid. Well, maybe a teenager. It looked amazing. Cybermorph on the Jaguar looked amazing. That's the game that came free with the Atari Jaguar. It was in the box. Let's just have a little look and see if it still looks amazing.
Well done.
It got me thinking. The things that we used to think looked amazing. I mean, there's probably games that you're embarrassed to admit. Games that you saw around your friend's house or you saw in the shop and you thought, oh my God, that's the most amazing achievement on computers I've ever seen. But now it looks like a piece of dog poo. My example, and I might have said this before, it was Jackpot by CRL for the ZX Spectrum. I'll just show you that. I saw this around my friend Mark Whitehouse's house in 1982, actually in 1982, after school, and it blew my brains. I thought, I can't believe the graphics and the sound. I was absolutely in awe. It was one of the big driving factors of me getting my Spectrum, begging my mum for it for Christmas. So yeah, it just goes to show we were easily wowed back then. I mean, now you see what games can do. They're almost photoreal, and we're like, yeah, whatever. It's worn off. But back then, it was such a thrill, wasn't it? A thrill to see some new techniques, some new graphics, some new 3D. It was Virus. Remember everyone raving about Virus on the Atari ST. Oh, David Braben's back. He's got another hit, Virus. Oh, and then there was Conqueror, wasn't it? Using the same thing, like a terraformed, vector-based planet that you sort of flew over and shot in 3D. Amazing at the time. It's like, what? It's absolute. No, not so good. I could show you Virus running. It's a game famous for the graphics technique, isn't it? But not much substance after that. It's a shame. We all stuck it in with that. Well, oh, this game is. You see what they're doing with the graphics and the speed and the. Yeah, what's that, raster or parallax, all those great words that sold titles. But then you got the game. I mean, let's be honest, Shadow of the Beast, it might have 75 layers of parallax, not that many, layers of parallax. But was the game a classic, really? Beautiful box, an incredible t-shirt. That's what we can say. Anyway, moving on. I'm not moving on, I'm going very slow. Number 10, we must be halfway. Retro Crazy UK. New? I don't know. But glad to see Squashy Washy return. Maybe Squashy Washy will be back soon. All the jingles in one episode. It'd be a good challenge, wouldn't it? Justin Wormleyton, he's back. He's querying my Star Trek. Last week we showed Star Trek on the Atari ST. I really love that game, and I said it was the first official Star Trek game released in the UK. Well, he said, what about Star Trek, like the Sega related Star Trek? Is it Sega? Possibly. Star Trek on the Atari 800 came out on cartridge, and I remember, yeah, it also came out on the Commodore 64 cartridge. But I don't think it got a UK release. And I did say UK because I said about Apple II version, and I think yes, America got Star Trek games, but we didn't until that Atari ST one. I could be wrong. Justin. Nath Retro, I said it right. Nath Retro. Apparently, he says, Katie Tunstall got his name wrong too. True story. They didn't tell us the story. But apparently, Katie Tunstall got his name wrong somewhere, somehow. And then she must have gone, suddenly I see. Do you know, that's one of her songs, isn't it? Anyway, great. He said something nice. He said standard boxware, because we was on about boxware, because they had quite a lot of a bit tatty boxes last week's show, you might notice. He said standard boxware shows patina. That's what they'd say on the Antiques Roadshow, isn't it? Oh, this box, yeah. Well, you want to say it is worn out. That is worn out, that's flat, that's squashy. No, that's just got a lovely natural patina. Yeah, patina. I like it. Now, also, I think it was Sean last week said that Nath was the sexiest retro gamer. Do you remember this? Sexiest retro gamer. So this week I thought, well, I'll check out his channel. See what the competition's like. Anyway, I checked his channel and oh my god, I've never seen someone on a channel who looks so similar to me about 20 years ago. I couldn't believe it. Yes, he is the sexiest, but that means I was a long time ago. Get over it, suckers. Yeah, okay, so this is Nath, and this is me, like about 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Similar, innit? Similar. I just thought, maybe you win, but it's close. We could go out double dating with the cheeky girls, couldn't we? Me and him. Back then, if I could time travel, laters. Let's go. New person, number 13. Unlucky for some. It's someone new. Great name. TM. I think his name must be Trademark. 261180. He's put his national insurance number there for us. Anyway, loves the Star Trek patch. And you might remember going back to the Star Trek on the Atari ST. Stop saying VCS, Chase. Get VCS out of your system. The Atari ST had a lovely fabric patch. And it is something we should cover. Not many games had fabric patches. Maybe some of the Infocom adventures, World Cup Carnival, the big box when they re-released the Arctic game and they put it in that big box with a wall planner. I think that also had a lovely fabric patch, but there's not many. There's not many. So you know, if you want to point out any patches I'm not thinking, I can't think of, let us know. And he's right. We all want fabric patches in all our games. Thank you. Richard Cooper finally received his Smurf mini Game & Watch thing in Australia. You know, it just goes to show people do get their prizes. Even in Australia, you get your prizes. So thanks for that, Richard. And he's a Trekkie too. I did say I was a bit Trekkie. Now, okay, hats off. If I was wearing a hat, it would be off to Paul Dixon, because Paul Dixon, he's going the extra mile. He is. Oh, he really blew me away last week, ripping the crap out of my mistake on the Atari Lynx prototype. But this week, he's excelled. He's beat you all with the ultimate comment, I think. Okay. Since you mentioned Chat GPT, that was the AI that because we had a book about AI on the BBC and Electron, and I said about Chat GPT. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's asking it questions, and it's an amazing piece of software. And he said that anyway. He thought it would be interesting to have it come up with a comment for the video. He asked it to include the Atari Jaguar, broken PC engine, and cache converters ruining games. And this is what the AI Chat GPT came up with. This video really highlights the challenges and frustrations of being a retro gaming collector. The broken PC Engine GT and the ruined games from cache converters are a tough reminder of how important it is to handle these vintage items with care. But the Atari Jaguar still shines, and it's great to see it in action. Thanks for sharing this video and keeping the retro gaming community alive. And then even 2 emojis after. That is an AI wrote that. An AI wrote that. That is pretty incredible. So if you haven't checked it out, Chat GPT, stick it in Google, go and check out the site, ask it anything, and it will give you a real human, interesting response. It's brilliant, fun, great fun, more fun than this show probably. Moving on, thanks Paul. Number 16, Peter, he's back. Peter, ex-prize winner, big fan of Pitfall. He's a big fan of Pitfall and the way it evolved. And it's right, because it's one of those games that goes right to the origins with the Atari version, that really blocky early platform swinging on the rope action, but then it carried on, and there's new Pitfall games, you know, came out for, we did the Jaguar version. Has it carried on? Yes, I think there's PS2 Pitfall game. Part of me thinking there might even be a Pitfall game later than that, PS3, PS4. I don't know. I can't know everything. I know you think I do, but I don't. Anyway, you might remember last week he pointed out that the 2 games, Snake Pit, on the week before's show, Snake Pit and McDougal's on the Dragon, which are super rare games, seemed very the same, very similar games. And I talked about it in this part of the show last week and showed the games side by side and said, yeah, they're pretty similar. But no, he picked me up. He said, no, you put the same game and both slots on that original video. And I checked it, he was right. I just showed the Dragon game for the Spectrum game, and then the Dragon game again for the Dragon game. 2 Dragon games, no Snake Pit, which is a shame, because Snake Pit is actually really good kind of Tron snake game. Loads of snakes all over the screen, and it's written by the legend that is Mike Lords of Midnight Singleton. So anyway, Snake Pit, still in stock. Nobody's bought that. Number 17, Retro Games Revived. That's our old mate Sean. He was a winner again last week for the 2nd time. He has had 2 prizes now. We all hate him. No, we don't, Sean. We don't. We really, all of us, we all really care about you and for your love of Nath. We really do. We love that bonding thing. It's nice. Male bonding. Very good for us. Sean says, because I was really raving about the shape of the Atari Jaguar console with its hydrofoils. I think I call them hydrofoils, but I don't think that's what it is. But you know, fluting and vents, and you know, it looks, what's it, Art Deco. It's like an Art Deco console. And he pointed out that, yeah, but what about the GX4000? The GX4000, that is a groovy shape too. Let's just show you the GX4000. It is a lovely looking console, isn't it? Related to that Amstrad 464 Plus. They came out around the same time. That was like the console version of that computer. But sadly, the GX4000, pretty ropey games-wise, wasn't it? Amstrad CPC 8-bit conversions, not very exciting. If they just built a new console rather than just reshaping a computer. It's like 64GS, there's a lot of it about. CD32, let's be honest, they're console versions of computers where they haven't really done anything to improve them at all, despite being more than a generation ahead. You know, you had years to come up with some extra graphics or some extra memory. Come on, wouldn't have taken a lot, would it? If you'd have turned that, I mean, it's hard to believe that Amstrad could have turned the GX4000 into a mighty, amazing games console rival to the Mega Drive. But they could have, couldn't they? They could have. The technology was there. It wouldn't have taken that much, you know. They missed out there. 18, Tetley is back. Loved the PC Engine GT that I showed last week. Didn't work, sadly. And it reminded them of the one their friend had back in the day. Seeing someone else having that thing that you haven't got. That was one heck of a feeling, wasn't it? Someone else has got that amazing console. And I remember the GT, because compared to the Game Gear and the Lynx, it's a colour handheld, but the screen was so detailed. It was proper not high res, but decent resolution. You actually could see the detail in those brilliant PC Engine sprites. And let's be honest, PC Engine games are great anyway, and they did really shine on the GT. And it just made me think there were so many things that your friend had that you really wanted. And it brings me back. It's not a game, but I remember my friend came into school with, just randomly, with a Casio VL Tone. It's like a little mini electronic Casio keyboard. And I'd never seen anything like it. It blew me away. And I can remember thinking, I would do anything to own that thing. I would do anything. I would trade everything I own. I just want that. I want that and a Casio VL Tone. It's not great. It's not a great thing, but just that young mind was just like blown away by something from the future. Just envy, deep-seated envy of what someone else has got. And I think probably that's a lot of the reason a lot of us collect is because that deep-seated envy never went away. So I own it now. I own it now. The person who owned it back in the day, they just got rid of it. They didn't care. It didn't mean anything to them compared to what it meant to you because you didn't have it. It's weird. It's weird, isn't it? Like electronic games are like that for me. A lot of friends had different electronic games and handhelds, and I'm like, oh, I want to play that. You know, even my cousin had a what was it? TRS 80 computer. Oh, and a TI 99. And even though I had a Spectrum at the time, I thought, oh, that's that Invaders on TI 99. That's amazing. I'm jealous. I don't know why. They hated it. I loved it. Anyway, moving on. TI 99. What a computer. What a computer. Steve Holloway, number 19. He says he's still calling this the broom cupboard. It is like a broom cupboard. I need to have a little Gordon the Gopher, don't I? Gordon the Gopher poking up there. Just Gordon, don't worry. Nothing rude. Smelly vision. He just said smelly vision. Hilarious. I was a joke. It doesn't really smell in it. It smells lovely. Old games in a group. A bunch of old games in the same room. A room full of old games. Heads up. It smells lovely. It smells lovely. You're getting a bit of 80s vibes. You're getting a bit of whiff. A bit of 80s whiff. You can't knock that. It's like me opening all them boxes and just a little sniff because I'm smelling the past. It's as close as you're going to get to time travel, retro gamers. Anyway, calm down. Retro Bear, the legend that is Retro Bear. He commented on Empire Strikes Back. And he loved that game for the Atari. We showed it a really scruffy box version. But he said he also loved Jedi Arena, but nobody else does. And he's got a point, hasn't he? Jedi Arena. I had to say, I thought that was rubbish as well. Let's just show you Jedi Arena. That's it. Good for you for standing by it. Good for you for standing by it. On the subject of Retro Bear, he's been doing this a lot longer than me. And there's a natural warmth about his shows. He's obviously a really lovely guy. He's just the sort of guy you just want to hang out with, go drinking with. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know if you guys saw, but last week he put out a tribute video to his friend John, Retro Kit. And I wasn't aware of Retro Kit. I mean, But the love in that video, it was incredibly moving, and the thought that someone would make a tribute like that to their friend, I don't know, it really touched me, and I know it touched a lot of other guys in this little gang of ours who watched it, and I just thought, it's so sad, you know, because we all share this hobby, we share this love of things. I mean Retro Bear and him, you would go out game finding together, and there's something about a hobby like this, if you have got a friend to do it with, you're incredibly lucky. I've lost a very, very close friend of mine about 7 or 8 years ago now. And it stays with you forever. That friend will be there with you, and they're in your mind still all the time. And it kind of, when we dedicate so much of our time to this crazy retro gaming collecting hobby, and it's happened with customers as well, you know, you've dedicated all this passion, sunk into this hoarding obsession with old video games, and then you're gone. And then what's left? I don't know, it frightens the life out of me. It frightens the life out of me. And so, I mean, it's the customers who've gone, it's like, but all that it's the disappearance of the passion and the love for the subject. What, you know, it's just cut off. It's just gone. And people don't really look at collecting something as an achievement. But coming back to being like a club, we all share so much opinion and views on so many things, like what a particular game's like, what sort of things are worth collecting, what isn't, what's absolutely awful. We all have this consciousness that's all very, very similar. We would all get on. I mean, if we had a big party and everyone came, we would have such a brilliant time, because we're all exactly like-minded. And I have not met a nasty retro gamer. I've been doing this for so long. You're just such lovely people. Anyway, doesn't really matter. I've just wanted to say I was really touched by that video. I didn't expect to get into it. I mean, I didn't know the guy, but it reminded me of just how special it is when you have a friend or people who really share the passion and the interest. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be retro gaming. And how absolutely devastating it is when someone just suddenly is taken from you. Yeah, horrible. Horrible. So yeah, thoughts with you for us. Anyway, carry on. The last one here. This is Fionzi. Hasn't commented for a while, and I had to read this comment out. You're not really going to believe this comment. Why do you cover so much Spectrum when everybody knows Commodore 64 is best?
I love the Spectrum. I love the Commodore 64. I love the Spectrum. I love the Commodore 64. I love the Spectrum. And I love the Commodore 64. I love the Spectrum. And I love the Commodore.
So I hope that has put it to bed once and for all. Okay, moving on. Competition time. Let's get our old friend. You know who he is. You know who he is. Now, I haven't talked about the prize yet. Now, being an anniversary... Oh, I'm talking too much. Cue the jingle!
My name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. Remember my name. 'Cause my name is Marvin. My name is Marvin.
Marvin!
And numbers are my game.
Right, 21. Put the numbers in. 21 people today. Anyway, yes. I haven't talked about the prize. Here's Marvin. The prize, because it's an anniversary special. Get excited. We're going back. It's a proper Retro Games t-shirt. Brand new. Unused. It's been in a box for a long time. Beautiful in XL size. It is exactly what I am wearing. I model this every single week, and you can have one of very, very, very few official Retro Games t-shirt if you win today's prize to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. Yes, 1 year. Okay, we've got 21 people. Here he is. Let's get him on. Is it going to be all E's for Ed? No, no E's. Good. That's E's for Ed or E's for error. Ed wasn't on the list, was he? Ed didn't comment. Well, he's off my Christmas list. He's won about 4 prizes and now he's not even bothered. Maybe that's why. He's doing everyone a favour. He's not joining in because he feels guilty about winning every single week. Or maybe I was really harsh last week. I was really harsh, wasn't I, about his Milton video. He's got the ump. It's got the ump. I could do a new jingle about that. It's got the ump. I miss you, Ed. I miss you, Ed. Come back to the show. I was just having a laugh with you. I'm just jealous of all your massive viewing figures as mine decline. If it goes down another 100, we're going to be down to 100 views. I'm taking hours to edit this thing. Anyway, enough of that. Stop whinging, Jay. Stop whinging. Get on with it. Anniversary special. Here's Marvin. 21. Let's go. Good luck, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, Marvin. It is number 8. Yes, number 8. If that looked really dodgy, it's because the camera stopped rolling mid-draw. So it looks like I fixed it, but I didn't, and I've purposely not fixed it. Oh, you know, this exactly at the half an hour that camera stops recording is exactly as the number came up. It looked like it was 10 that it stopped on the old films. I just checked it. But it actually carried on and it stopped at 8. So you're going to have to trust me. I can't mess with the Marv. Don't mess with the Marv. Number 8, and number 8 is our guy, the Portuguese guy. The Portuguese one's won. Could be Brazil. Could be Brazil. It's going to be expensive to send if it ever arrives. You know, Royal Mail parcels to Brazil. Fat chance. Fat chance. Anyway, brilliant. We've got a winner. Sorry, commiserations to everyone else. It was not a fix. I purposely kept it at 8. I left this on 8 so you could see. I have not pressed the button again. It stopped at 8. Get over yourselves. You think I'm cheating. I would never cheat. Not with the Marvin. Okay. Now, let's talk about what we normally talk about. We've done that.
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games this week.
Yeah, what's new at Retrogames this week? Oh, are you enjoying yourselves yet? When's the weekend really begin? This is the weekend. You did it. You made it. Let's start with Atari ST, shall we? Atari ST. We've had them quite a few weeks there. What about this? Alien World. Alien World. Doesn't that look gorgeous? And I thought this was an interesting title. It's a shooter. I'm going to show it running. Lovely, lovely graphics, beautiful box, but I think the artwork is quite stunning. It's quite stunning. It looks like a quality software house production, but of course it's made by High Tech. Now High Tech, famous on the Spectrum, Commodore, Amstrad for being a budget company, budget reissues primarily, maybe a couple of original titles, but a budget company. But what happens when a budget company gets to the next generation? And here we are, we've moved into the Atari ST era. They're thinking, oh, we've got to release full price stuff. We've got to change. We can't afford to do the reissues. We've got competition from Mastertronic and Codemasters and all those hit squads and kicks. So we're going to have to make some original content. So I think this is possibly a European game that they bought the rights to. Let's have a little look at the manual. Oh, look. So this is on the High Tech Premier label. The manual, very strange, like branded, well, company branded manual, but it is the manual, and there's the disc. It comes with a poster. Let's have a little look. Oh, it's an advert. It's an advert for a different game. It's an advert for the Jetsons. Can you hold this up? It's a Jetsons poster. There's a free Jetsons poster in this one. Strange. That's another game. But that might be an original title. Was that original? I mean, it must have been a cheap license. We're talking about a 1950s cartoon. Is it? Maybe not that old. 1960s cartoon, the Jetsons. Anyway, Alien World. I just thought interesting on High Tech. It's a rare game. Also, I thought this was really strange. Look at the font they chose here. This is like a Middle England Hobbit style font for a game Alien World. But why an old English font? An old, strange design choices. That is Alien World for the Atari ST. Let's move on. Another Atari ST. What about this one? Game a lot of people love. Bang! It's Bang! Bang! Very strange game, very rare. Big Commodore 64. People love this game on cartridge. You always think of the Commodore cartridge for Pang, but it came out for Amiga, it came out for ST, it came out for all 8-bit formats. It's a balloon buster game. It's from the arcade, believe it or not. I think, is it Taito released? It feels like it should be a Taito game. From Mitchell Corp. I'm not sure who Mitchell Corp are, but anyway, it always feels like to me a game that they invented by accident. If everyone's ever played the Ghostbusters games where you're trying to trap two ghosts between your fizzy sticks, well, this is like popping balloons with fizzy sticks. Two-player mode though, it is a good game. Pang is a great game, but just very unusual. Nice to see it on the Atari ST this week, and here we go. We've got the got a manual there. It's very lovely condition. Got that lovely official disc, and you've got the, of course, don't forget your ocean bag. Don't forget your ocean bag. Lovely, you've got to have the ocean bag, but here's a little tip for you as a retro gamer. Don't keep discs. If you've got your 16-bit Amiga, ST, PC games in these plastic discs, this is solid gold. I am very confident that this helps mould on discs. That the clammy nature of being in a plastic over a long time is what helps generate those white crystalline blotches on disc surfaces. This comes back from when I used to deal with music and stuff. On CDs, it was always in a digipack for them. It's digipack CDs. You pull the disc out and you've got this patination on the bottom. Like, well, I came up with the name, which I always used to use and still do, Time Frost. And we might see it on some games inside. And if I see a Time Frost game, I shall bring it in. But it's just this weird patination where the internal corrosion of the discs. And that's kind of what happens with 5.25 and 3.5-inch discs. They get blotchy, and I always, when I'm packing a game or sorting a game, take it out of the plastic, because I think that plastic, it means there's no new air getting to that disc, and I think that is suffocation has a direct relation to mould. It's not proven. It's not proven. This is just my benefit of my my nearly 30 years of selling retro games. That's what I think. So, you know, don't agree with me. I don't care. Okay. What about this? Something for the Spectrum! All the logos, remember? All the logos. That's one big Spectrum tune. I just love the box for this. Learning with Leaper. Let's get that on the screen. Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's like a massive, jolly, one-eyed robot. It's an educational thing. Software projects. I don't believe they released anything else educational, but for some reason, so someone sent them this program. They thought, let's release that. Let's release that. It's 4 learning games for ages 3 to 6. Shall I open it? I'll open it. It's a bit. It's a little bit. That's an aging thing. That's it again. That's card. That's like just old cards, maybe not been kept in the driest of conditions. But yeah. Anyway, learning with Leaper. I think I've got another Spectrum game. Did I pick 2? Did I pick? I usually pick 2. No, I didn't pick another Spectrum game. I picked this though. And this was an interface that we listed this week. And I love this because we don't know what it is. Now you hobbyists out there will know in an instant what this is. Is it a 16K RAM pack for the Spectrum, but just for the ZX81, but really massive? It's got a lot of chips there. I don't know if you can see the numbers on the chips zoomed up. Maybe when this video YouTube finally gets it to go 4K, you can read them and know what this is. there's no words on it at all, no joystick interface. I'm guessing it is RAM. These chips all seem to be able to pop out. I've no idea. I've no idea. It was made in England. That's all. We've listed it. It's on in the Spectrum section. A random Sinclair interface, possibly for the Spectrum, but it does look like a ZX81 connector too. I don't know. You know, it's the first time I've ever shown anything. I don't know what it is. But I just thought, what the fun? What the fun? Let's do it. Let's go on to PlayStation. What about PlayStation? That's a PlayStation game this week. PlayStation 1 plus 1. Nightmare Creatures, a great game. You can see this. What do you think? Really good early game, beautiful condition, lovely disc and manual. Quite rare. All these games go up in value, and they're fun, aren't they? PS1, they're just blocky enough to feel retro. You know, it's actually starting to be a bit of magic in reliving some of those PS1 experiences for me. It's taken a while. It's taken a while. PS1, Saturn. It's taken me a while to really feel it, that's it, feel it. But now, yeah, I'm starting to really love the look of them and those early 3D games, especially the early 3D World games. The Jaggies, I like them. It makes me feel warm inside. It's a bit like how you like Colour Clash on the Spectrum. Well, yeah, you can like all the Jaggies. What about this? This is Ridge Racer. This is the original first version of Ridge Racer. One of the most amazing launch titles for any games console ever, because it was pretty much identical to the arcade, and we're talking from an era when arcades ruled the roost. Now all you lot are similar age to me, well, we are so lucky that we know what arcades were like and what they did, because the youth of today will just never understand the incredible fun of going to the arcade and seeing the latest games there. That's where you had to go to check them out. And you go back home and you play really awful versions of them, like Outrun on the Spectrum or Enduro Racer. But finally, PS1 brought actual arcade quality to the home. And I would say Ridge Racer is such a flagpole game of that happening. The first super comparable home version of an arcade machine. I'm putting it out there. Brilliant. Anyway, this is the original. It's in a double cases, not those horrible PS1 snappy broken cases, but a proper one. A few of the early games came out in those double, like Destruction Derby, Doom came out, original Tomb Raider, in these just nice CD changeable double cases. We love it. Right, next up, and that is another double case. That's Rebel Assault 2, Star Wars. More famous this is 3DO. It's on Mega CD. But it was also groundbreaking. It was on the PS1, and yeah, we all hanker for being inside an X-Fighter, don't we? Or you know, taking the Millennium Falcon for a spin. And yeah, classic arcade game. No screenshots on the back. That's interesting, isn't it? They thought, well, let's not spoil it. I don't know. There's a warm glow to play. It's fun. It's fun. It's a nice game. What about this? Resident Evil, everyone loves Resident Evil. What about the director's cut? Very rare. They made an improved version. Even on the original format Resident Evil came out on, they thought we can do it better than this. And they made an improved version, the Resident Evil director's cut. And there's not many, I can't think of any other games that are tagged director's cut like a film. It also comes with a Resident Evil 2 demo. I think Resident Evil 2 was already out when this came out though. I think this came out after Resident Evil 2. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You'll correct me. 1997. But yeah, there's been so many versions, and the GameCube version is a lot better than this. Resident Evil. Biohazard, to all you Japanese fans. It was a groundbreaking, important game. It pushed the whole zombie horror genre forward. It's the defining game of it. So they obviously knew that. Let's keep reinventing and redeveloping and trying to hone this down to being perfect. I mean, they're still digging up old versions. And a new version of Resi 4 for PS5, isn't there, coming out imminently. They are still resurrecting all the old games in the series because they know they did so well. And they've all come out for so many things, like N64, GameCube got the whole run of them, didn't it? I mean, yeah. If you come on, Capcom, if you've got this product, just flog it. It's not something new to you. Let's be honest. How many Ghouls and Ghosts is there? Capcom do like to take advantage of their licenses. What about this one? Life Force Tenka. It's an unusual one. I think it's, is it Protagonist? Yes, it's a Protagonist PlayStation game. Sony bought Protagonist. You might know that. It turned them into Sony Liverpool. But in their DNA, I guess Psygnosis live on. Sony Liverpool. And Sony Liverpool did a lot of the early VR stuff on PS1. So yeah, Life Force Tenka. Let's show you a bit of this game going. What's next in the box?
What's in the
You know it. PlayStation 2. What about this? Evil Dead Regeneration.
Yesterday's shock therapy on your seminar. Jolting success and danke to all.
What the hell?
Still like the, talking about Resident Evil. Very rare.
Oh, nice.
Very rare Resident Evil related game.
Real modest.
Not Resident Evil. Evil Dead related game for PS2. And just it's unusual. Came on the show. Let's check out a bit of Evil Dead.
Bingo.
And remember,
Regeneration. I'm such a natural presenter. Okay, let's carry on. What about this? More horror. Saw for PS3. I mean, sometimes games just skip me by, and I did not realise there was a version of this torture film for PS3. And I've never played this. I know it's like a chainsaw and the thing.
I'm sorry.
I'm excited by this. I'm quite excited. I wish I'd played it. I have to admit, I've never played this. I'm looking forward to checking it out myself. Saw, PS3. I'm racing. We have been taking too long. Let's go. What's next? How about some Megala Drive? We've got some nice box games this week. Superman, Man of Steel. Sega Mega Drive. Very rare. I mean, we haven't had this in stock for ages. Got very, very hard to find all these superhero games on the old Mega Drive. It's not mega condition. It's all right. The manual's okay. Look, the manual's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Cartridge is nice. Yeah, Superman, Man of Steel. What else? Well, okay, you can have another one. What about this? Now, this is a near mint. This is Batman. Batman. Yeah, I remember that gold logo from so many Amiga and Amiga small box freebie games. And what's the other one? Spectrum and Commodore. Yeah, that gold Batman logo. It's kind of synonymous with gaming to me. But it is from the original Batman movie, and this is, we've listed this as near mint. This is absolutely beautiful condition. I know you guys love seeing the beautiful stuff. Let's pop her open. Let's pop her open. Nice click. Ready for the click? Oh, it wasn't that great, was it? The manual's loose there, but look at the manual. That is amazing, isn't it? That is gorgeous. Gorgeous example of Batman. You know, he's a bat. No, he's not actually, is he? That's rubbish. He wishes he was a bat. There you go. I'm not a massive superhero fan, can you tell? Superheroes, yeah. Okay, carrying on. Batman. What do you want me to say? It's Batman. I'm Batman. This is a Mega Drive game that always people want, and that is Decap Attack. Arcade fun. Check out Decap Attack. And now you can see why people really like it. Decap Attack, there we go. Lovely condition again, this one's quite nice. But it always sells very quickly, Decap Attack. It's a great name, Decap as in decapitation. It's a game where you chop people's heads off, I guess. And look, there's a loose head there flying off the manual. But yeah, really nice condition. A classic cool game for your Sega Mega Drive. Yes, I am going quick. What's next? Well, I've got a couple of loose cards for Mega Drive. First one is X-Men. We've started selling loose cards. These used to go into our bargain basement, but these days, loose cards, that's a nice condition, that is nice. Loose cards have their own section in the main body of Sega Mega Drive because they're not cheap anymore. Loose cards have got massive values compared to what they were. I mean, we used to sell loose cards for 1, 2, 3 quid. But now, you know, I think this one is 25 quid. Yeah, 25 quid for X-Men. God knows how much we'd sell it for in the box with the manual. I know, outrageous. But you think that's bad? What about this one? X-Men 2. X-Men 2. Clone Wars. And it is an authentic original cartridge, and we've got a massive whacking 50 squids on that. 50 squids for a loose Mega Drive game. How much you'd sell a boxed one for? Well, it's at least 120, do you think? 120 Clone Wars on the Mega Drive now. These games, the rare games, only go up. They only go up. Just feel smug. Feel smug. Your collection, your pride and joy, it's just sitting there accruing value. It's brilliant, isn't it? What a hobby. Not many people's hobby, but all the stuff they've hoarded is just constantly rising in value. And games has never ever slowed. So it's really good. It's really good, isn't it? It's good. Just imagine if you had warehouses full of it. How rich you must be on paper. Yeah, okay, except you blow it all on games anyway, so what's the point? Anyway, carry on, Jay, carry on. What should we talk about now? What about Super Nintendo? Super Nintendo, here's one for you. Judge Dredd, more superheroes, a lot of superheroes on the Super Nintendo. A lot of superhero stuff this week. Judge Dredd, it's pretty good condition, isn't it? I think it's like kind of 8 out of 10. crack her open. Crack her open. See what she's like inside. Pretty good, pretty good. Nice clean cartridge. Let's check out the manual. Oh my goodness, it's a nice manual. Look at that. Look at that manual. Yeah, I had to do it, didn't I? I had to do it for the anniversary special. It's not special. It's not that special. It's just the anniversary issue. Episode. Excuse to use the old intro music because I love it so much. Yeah, you guys love it better anyway. The old music, the first music was the best music, wasn't it? Well, don't change it, Jason. What's new at Retrogames? You ruined it. Carry on. What about this? This is a game from a film that nobody remembers. Dennis. And we wonder what happened to the mighty ocean because they put all their money in these licenses of films that did terrible at the box office and expected them to sell, but they didn't because they were ropey. And poor old ocean died. And they were the kings of 8-bit for us in the UK. But when it came to Nintendo, they just couldn't keep it going. And before you know it, they got bought out. But they're part of IDOS in the end and just got bought out. But this is a nice game anyway. I'm rambling and ranting about ocean, but this is a nice game, lovely manual, nice condition. It's a game about a little kid with a catapult. Dennis! Love him! It's a platformer, it's a cutesy platformer, looks alright, stop it. One more SNES, yeah, it's a rare one. And this is a really rare one. This is Alien versus Predator, and we've always sold loose SNES carts because cardboard box games, the boxes disintegrate, disappear, get thrown away, don't come out of the loft ever again. So there's always been a lot more unboxed SNES than there's been unboxed Mega Drive plastic cases, nice and hardy, keep them smooth, keep them firm. I don't know what that means. But anyway, this is Alien vs Predator, super rare game, and this is a UK cartridge. Such a rare game because usually you might find this. In America you can get American ones, but a PAL, generally you're going to find an Australian one. It was more popular in Australia than the UK. Very limited numbers in the UK, but this is an SNSP AP NOE code, not AUS. This is a European PAL version, and what a rare game. It's in lovely shape. There's a little bit of a stain. That is a stain. I did look at that. There's a little bit of staining on the label, but it is so rare you don't care. That's like a little... It's so rare you don't care. Well, maybe you do care. I care. Stop it, Jace. You really are. Okay, what about this? You've got an N64 game. Okay, I thought this would be fun. This would be fun? Yeah, fun. Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. Okay, it's a loose cartridge, right? Let me get this on the camera. So as you can see, we have some issues with it. We've got some residue there, but look on the side. We've got some Muppet. Sorry, because we only bought this recently. He's going to be watching this, so you could be a Muppet. He wrote on the sides of all his cartridges, and I thought, well, this would be fun. This is kind of my life. I make out it's all fun and games, new boxes of stuff every day, but a lot of it is also cleaning up stuff that's not great. So I just thought I'd bring out some stuff and show you how I do it. For the anniversary special, not anniversary unspecial. Now this is your friend as a retro gamer. This is lighter fluid. Get it in your pound shop. Bull brand lighter fluid. It used to be Ronson, didn't it? Ronson. And this is brilliant for removing glue residue. This is your friend. So I'm going to try and do this for the camera. So you just want to tip some on the glue residue there. And now I use wet wipes a lot, not just for cleaning things, but when they're dry, they're actually a really good cloth. They don't disintegrate like kitchen roll or anything like that. So I use this because you need a bit of pressure on this. And as you can't see because I'm doing it too far away, but as you can see, that glue residue already is coming away. Look how much came off in there. And I know, if you don't know about this, I know it doesn't feel right covering your stuff with petrol. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, but this stuff evaporates instantly. It doesn't leave a smell, doesn't leave any, it doesn't soak into boxes. It's brilliant for removing hard labels. I mean, cash converters last week, this was not, you can't do cash converters with this. But most labels, like most price labels, your HMV, stubborn HMV labels, your things stuck over barcodes, this will be good. And also for residue. So I'm gonna just give this a little bit more. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna give this a little bit, see if I can get this to look better before I move on to the side. I thought this is brilliant. I mean, this is TikTok gold, isn't it? This is this is Jace cleaning up a cartridge. I mean, it's not perfect, but as you can see on the main face there, that glue residue has all gone, which leaves us with this. I mean, okay, we've got all that writing. Now this is another hot tip on cleaning, particularly Nintendo cards with marker pen on. And a lot of people did that. They write on the tops as well. You get written on the top, SNES as well. People like to write on them. They're idiots. And it's not actually people in shops. It's generally people in their own collection just to make it easier to find on a shelf. Oh, there, I've written it on there. Now this seems counterintuitive. I'll give you that. But this is a Bic marker pen. This is a Bic, what is it, a whiteboard marker. Apologies if you all know all this stuff already, but it is satisfying to watch, even if you see this all the time. Now, I've got your Star Wars of the Empire there. Now, what I'm going to do, and you're going to say, what the hell are you doing? I'm going to colour it in. I'm going to colour in all this writing, Star Wars there. And now, as you colour in, it's quite relaxing, you'll see that the numbers start to turn into smudge. The letters, I mean, not numbers, the black starts to spread around amongst the pen like that until can you see, it's like it's getting harder to read. I mean, I haven't done the wars there. Do the wars, give it another go. Just keep drawing on your stuff. This is why I spend half of my videos every week telling people never to write on this, draw on this stuff. And what am I doing? I'm drawing on my stuff. You can still see the word. You can still see the words under the pen there. You can still see a little bit. Keep on colouring. Just a everyday whiteboard marker pen on top of, and this is permanent marker. I'm doing this to permanent marker. Don't think, oh, I'll use it. Try this. Don't do it with a permanent marker. It's not going to work if you use a permanent. This is a whiteboard marker. Now let's see. Let's do the reveal. So I'm just going to give it a dry rub first, and as you can see, oh my goodness. Where has all the pen gone? Well, there's still bits because I'm doing this up in the air to a camera, so it's a bit tricky. So there's some little bits left. There's little bits of residue, but where's all that writing? You know. So I will just bear with me. Just colouring these bits, the edges. Just colouring again. I mean, if you don't know about all this stuff, and you've got a collection of second-hand games you bought and they've got pen all over, you're going to have a very, very fun weekend. But you'll be pleased when you've done it, because it does make you feel good. It makes you feel good when you get rid of vandalism. Okay, I've another go with the dry. And I know what you're thinking, well, it's got a bit of a blue tinge to it now, Jace. Yeah, a little bit of a blue tinge, but don't worry about that, we ain't finished. You can see most of the pen has gone. Now this is rubbing alcohol. This is a brand by Has. Rubbing alcohol. It's got a whiff. It's quite hard to describe. Petrol smells lovely. Petrol, I love doing petrol work. Oh yeah. But this, oh, gross. Oh, it's like something to do with schools. Something like the school stationery cupboard smell. Now I put some on the same dry wet wipe, and I'm just going to rub that end, and I'm just going to. It's rubbing alcohol. It's just nice, and it just gets rid of any last bits of pen and dirt. I mean, I'm obviously doing this, and you can see I've missed a little bit on the end there, but you can see there, this had writing all over it, and now there's just that little bit there where I just missed that little bit there in the corner, a little bit there, but just a little bit of a touch up, and that will be clean as well. And there you have got rid of the marker pen, you've got rid of your sticker residue. This is looking like a half decent cartridge again, and I just thought that would be fun to show you that. And if it wasn't, sorry, I'll do something different next week. Just talk about games. That's what I'm generally good at. Let's talk about more. What about this one? Let's go NES. NES. It's all Nintendo today, and there's loads of consoles today. NES and Mega Drive. Metroid! original Metroid for the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. This is the UK release. Look, I mean, such a legendary game. This is the first game in the Metroid series. Everybody loves. I mean, Metroid's it's earned its own game describer, isn't it? Its own genre, Metroidvania. Metroidvania, is that what they call it? It's like that mix of Metroid and Castlevania, like platform game shooting. I mean, you don't shoot. Yeah, platform game shooting on a platform. Sounds like an oil rig disaster. Shooting on a platform. Lovely manual. Got the holder there. It's got the foam. It's all about the foam. No, it's not like PC Engine foam, but it's got the foam block. And I wish I could buy some more of these because you get a lot of NES games with those missing. And foam block. And it seems such a simple thing. It's a block of foam, but so often missing and very hard to replace. I bet Nintendo's got a warehouse full of foam blocks. Hope so. Metroid there, very lovely NES game. What about this one? And this is interesting. This is DuckTales. Okay, now this is a UK release, but it says PAL B on it, but it's a UK cartridge, and I've not been able to find much info on this or another copy of it ever in existence, which is strange because it's not regularly coded. It's not a UKV, FRA, which you often see on a UK card. Sadly, the cover of the manual is missing. We'll forgive it for that. Let's just check out the different box size. Usually got a blue outline, the PAL version, the UK version of this game. It's got a PAL version with the DuckTales logo, kind of like the back, that sort of colour, but on the front. But yeah, look at the cartridge, that is also slightly different on the label. And you look at the code, this is a NES UK GPS. Now I've looked up GPS codes, I've tried to find out what GPS means. And apparently it means it's what they branded ones that they couldn't sell at the end of their lifetime, which seems a bit bizarre. But this is PAL B with a UK designation. But PAL B is generally for Germany or Scandinavia. So I'm confused. I'd imagine it's super rare. I've never seen it before, not a GPS DuckTales. So any information, any of you Nintendo experts, leave us a comment. Explain it to us morons what the GPS code means to you. And we'll pretend to believe you. That's what we like. That's what we like, we're pretenders. What about this? Something really rare for the NES. Return of the Joker. It's Batman again. There's a lot of Batman today. Return of the Joker. Super rare on the old NES. It's not terrible condition. It's kind of like, it's a little bit creased. It's not squashy. No, it's not squashy washy. It's just a little bit worn. Typical of thing, but super rare in the box. This is I don't want to tell you how much this game costs, but let's just say it's not your everyday purchase. If you've got one in your collection, well done. We've got the manual. We've got the cartridge in its sleeve. Let's have a look. This is a got the code on there. Is there a code? Yes, NES 18UKV. This is the UK cartridge. Super rare. Original Batman the Joker. Return of the Joker. Return of him. You can't get rid of him. Very rare game. Not going to tell you how much it is. This is embarrassing. It's 300 quid. Oh Christ, 300 quid for a game? Yes, 300 quid for a very rare game. Yeah. Have you got it in your collection? No. Do you wish it was me? Yeah, I wish it was me. Be a lot more though, be a lot more. Okay, let's carry on. We've got another couple of games in the box. What's left? It is these. Back to the Future, my all-time favourite film, of course. Probably half of the viewers, it's your all-time favourite film, Back to the Future. Absolute genius. Never came out, Back to the Future NES never came out in Europe. This is a USA cartridge. I can tell you the code, we're on codes. NES FU USA. It's like it new. Back to the Future. Let's just check out Back to the Future running. miss you, Marty. Come on. Oh, don't spoil it. Do not make a new Back to the Future film. And the last game in the box, I've got to carry on with this. It's Back to the Future 2 and 3 on the same cartridge. Back to the Future 2 and 3. 2 games on one cartridge. And this, even though a massive license like this, and this is a 1985 game, released at the height of the NES. I think the NES only came out in the UK in 86 anyway. But it did not get a European release. Is it because they thought the game was just too rubbish for us Euros? We wouldn't appreciate it. It just amazes me. This would have been a huge system seller, wouldn't it? A Back to the Future cartridge game on the old NES, but no, didn't get it. Strange. And on that lovely little moment, one of my favourite films, that is the end of our anniversary episode. Thank you very much for watching. For all of you who have been along on our massive year-long journey, watching our videos and commenting, thank you so much. You, honestly, I mean, it sounds so contrived and so, but I honestly think of you all as my friends. The lovely things you say about the show every week. It warms my heart and it keeps me going. So until next week, happy retro gaming!
Retrogames,